the medicine woman.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Asha Loveyday, your medicine woman here. And the topic of the video is quite self-explanatory. I also apologize for my voice is very hoarse. I have a lot of allergies. And it's basically saying the secret to true love is to find yourself. And I really believe that as it pertains to love, true love, and whatever that is, or whatever that could mean to you, you have to become the person to attract the kind of love that you not only deserve, but the kind of love that you overall just like embody, if that makes sense. So I think I'm going to start this video with certain points. And the first one, if that was, unless that was the first one, maybe more the introduction, is that sometimes you have to teach people how to love you. And the only way that you can teach people how to love you is setting the standards for how they should treat you. And this will come with boundaries. And the only way that you can create boundaries is if you know yourself. And if you spend your entire time with your self-worth and your entire like personality, your entire values and what's it called are determined by this relationship, you are not you're not going to become not only the person you want to be within the relationship, you're not going to be a human being, you're going to be a commodity. And with that, then you can just attract all kinds of narcissistic people or attract overall just very, very, very controlling, manipulative people who will take advantage of you. So you need to become the person who has those boundaries so that you can, be with someone who will not only respect you as a result of those boundaries, but honor you in the process. If you're a woman, I would say one of the other first steps that you should make is starting to decenter men. And decentering men overall, this video, it may seem like this big, like, what's it called? Hypocrite thing to say, because true love and all this kind of stuff, I think you can seek love and seek connection and still dissent men in the process and not even go through the route of misandry, which I don't judge. You can you can decenter men overall by just living your life. I definitely think you should never let your self-worth be determined by a relationship. I think that the hobbies and the experiences and all the kind of things that you're trying to create within your life that is like going to make you happy should be the kind of things that should be centered within the relationship. And then when you're in the process of then looking for your partner, then you can kind of like see the kind of life you want with that person. For me, I can never date someone if I cannot see the kind of life I want with that person. I think when people go about dating other people, they date them and they're like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And then they just want to be with them. But you want to be with them doing what? You want to be with them being who? You want to be with them and stand for what? Do you know what I mean? So I think that when you're in these relationships with people and you're trying to foster connections, you can only understand the relationship and understand the purpose of serving of your life if you know yourself. Knowing yourself is absolutely the first step to kind of getting the relationship that not only you deserve, but a relationship that will mirror every aspect of you. How is anyone going to mirror any aspect of you? And then you're going to connect with this person so deeply and you're going to fall in love. If you don't know yourself, the person that you're with will can only know you, not the perception of you that you've created, not the person that is so desperately wanting to seek connection, but the person who has a whole life, who has their own interests, who has their own like values. They can only give support and validate that person in the most healthy way manner. Anything else will then become control. And another thing I would say is you don't need a relationship to feel complete. I think that we're told that relationships and what's it called is supposed to complete us. We are one. And even though in marriage it says you marry this person and you become one, that is not, that is very figurative and that is very symbolic. You are still both individuals with different experiences, with different like walks of life, and definitely different kinds of like different kind of languages you can have in a relationship, love languages, overall language or whatever. So if you're in this relationship with this person and you're looking to feel complete, I always say that in relationships they have to add. and someone cannot add to zero, if you know what I mean. So if you already have the kind of life you want, if you already live a kind of life that at least you're satisfied with, the person is adding. So it's not a situation where you're involved with someone and then you're involved with someone and then you're pouring so much out of your cup where you have nothing. You have to have your cup full already so that when you're in a relationship with this person, you are not being malnourished. And I mean this figuratively, spiritually, sometimes physically. You need to make sure that you're getting what you need from this person and that person isn't sucking the life out of you. And they will never not suck the life out of you if you're in a relationship with this person and then they take what you don't have to give. You know what I mean? Because we say that we want these things in this relationship, we want to be treated like this. Like, how do you want those things when you cannot even give them? You know what I mean? You have to be at that point in your life. You have to be at that point in your like experience where you can give what it is you actually want from that person. And because you can give that to that person, you have it the capacity to give that person, you have the capacity to give it to yourself. You know what I mean? Just apologize for the voice. I sound like I sound like I smoke when I don't. So the first step, which is was quite ironic, you need to get to know yourself, and this will come from spending time alone. You can, if you spend time alone, if you're single, then you will understand your desires, your wants, and your expectations from other people, and then you will you will even sorry so you will even get to the point where, what's it called, you can kind of fish out the people who are not for you and then not take it personally. One thing that would happen to me is I would see it as a moral failure when I would not end up in a relationship with a person, like it was something that I did. And sometimes you date people, you get to a point of self esteem where you date people and they're nice and everything is going well. But the problem is really that you're just not compatible or you're just not connected in that way because you and that person are not either equally yoked or you're just incompatible in certain aspects. So sometimes instead of taking it personally, you can understand, okay, this person is not for me because you have actually an idea of what it is that you want, at least the things that are non negotiable. And this can only be done if you spend time on your own, you spend time by yourself. You know what I mean? So you will then become like accustomed to yourself, and then you will not actually be held by what society expects from you. This is the kind of man you're supposed to be with, woman, non-binary person. This is the kind of relationship, this is what you want it to look like for me, I'm on all those sides of TikTok and it's like, oh, rich, 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 rich. I grew up with a mom who kind of like, I'm not saying that it was a situation where like the man depended on her, but she had her own money, she had her own things. The idea of dating a man for money is not something that would ever make me happy. And things, I'm very like look oriented. I'm not saying I'm shallow in that way, but I would rather be with a handsome man that's poor than with a rich man that's not my type. So it's the thing of like, because I know these things, I don't necessarily need a man to have all the money in the world. What I would kind of prioritize or what I want from my partner maybe may be generosity because I'm generous. Someone who is willing to give all parts of themselves. Like for me, I'm not about the 50-50 or even the man providing everything. I'm 100. We give our all in the relationship. And then it's not a situation where someone is being exploited. The kind of person, so if someone makes more money, then they will put in more. If someone has more empathy, they put in. So it's like people, and that thing, and in that process, people are being appreciated. And because I know this, I've taken this time to know myself. For example, I'm not being like, oh, this is what I like. For example, I'm quite tall. I'm 6'2", and people around me be like, oh, tall men, tall men, tall men. I'm not opposed to a tall man, but like I don't really care about height, for example. And I knew this when I started being like, actually, maybe this is actually what I like. Maybe society's expectations are not like, you know, they're not overall just like coming together to kind of just like tell me what it is that I want. This is what I want. This is what I look for. And I won't feel ashamed if that makes sense. But I only understood this when I spent time on my own. And in this time, you can then explore your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions without external influences being involved. So, you know, you can understand maybe your deal breaker is religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs. I think I knew deal breaker that's come from me is someone who has very similar spiritual beliefs to me. So astrology, tarot, I used to, as someone who doesn't have those beliefs, I used to date religious people, and of course they're open-minded religious people or whatever. But I think the kind of person I'm looking for and the person I want to be with will should and will have the same spiritual beliefs as me, if that makes sense. Because I feel like even though I met these people and we get along and we go far dating wise, I think that may have been a reason why it's 5 months, 6 months in, and then nothing is long term, if that makes sense. So because there are no external influences involved, I know what I'm sort of open minded to and not open minded. It's not to say I'm close minded to, but I will say that when I'm looking for a partner, I will prioritize those things. So no external influences are going about those things. And as usual, I would recommend shadow work as well, because for me, certain people with certain experiences would be the kind of person I want to attract, if that makes sense. I've been through a lot of trauma, so I may not want to be with someone. I don't necessarily need to be trauma bonded, but I need someone who understands or will understand that, like, this is how someone with a lot of trauma, like, lives, operates, and this is how they feel within their body, if that makes sense. I just want to end the video with the right person will complement your life and not define it. So I would also say this creator I'm obsessed with, I could put his YouTube under. It says that, like, I think investing in your passion projects, investing in the people that you love, investing in the things you care about outside of then romantic relationships is extremely, like, paramount to find that person that you're supposed to be with. So then they just don't define or complete you, they just complement you, and then you go together. Like, that dress complements you, this thing complements you, rather than this thing is just like defines you, like your heart to your body. Like, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? This dress compliments me and I love to wear it, but it's not something that I need to live like my heart or my organs, if that makes sense. So I hope this video made sense. I hope it is something that you learn from and you kind of understand why it is so important and paramount for you to develop your relationship with yourself and develop your relationship with your own experiences in life and kind of understand the kind of person you are becoming. And then you will find the person that you're going to be with. I promise you. I hope this video was helpful. It's a bit disorganized, but I hope it was helpful. I had like a whole other bunch of footage and it got deleted. And I'm so pissed off. And if I have access to that footage somehow, I will add it to this one. But I have a good feeling about this one and I hope that it was helpful. And please make sure to subscribe, turn on the post notifications, comment your thoughts. If you made it this far, comment pink hearts, and subscribe to my Patreon if you're interested. And thank you so much. It's Asha Lovely Day telling you to have a lovely day.